It's all invested in a house.
Do you hear me? She took it.
And a TV station. Seth is getting ready to leave the building.
Your property.
Well, maybe not.
God. Thank you, Daniel, for that topic this morning.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
I don't know that. I mean, like I told you, the last time I had an act to follow that hard was when Joe Kynes, who used to be the defense coordinator at Alabama, and I were doing a gig together, and Joe
head
was
coach at Arkansas.
And head coach at Arkansas, and Joe was on before me. And when I got up to speak, before I started, I told the guy who was arranging the deal that I was speaking in, I said, if you ever put me behind Joe Kynes again, I just won't get up. I'll just,
Was he loud?
Oh, he was like, Joe is great. He's, he's motivational. He's just everything.
Does he still live in Tuscaloosa?
He does. He does. He's watching after his two grandsons. His daughter was killed.
His daughter was killed in that car accident.
Yeah, that finally, the trial finally happened a few months ago for the person who had run into his daughter. So yeah, Joe's still down there. Joe's great. He's just, just a great guy. Kind of like Seth was, getting me all fired up and stuff. So. We'll see if I can follow.
What are you talking about today? Because he's got a book out.
Well,
you say you got another one?
I'm working on 2 new ones. And actually, Seth almost guessed the title of my next.
Go Nans?
No. He came really close to guessing the name of one of the books that I'm working on. So I'm not going to say because I haven't seen the title used anywhere. So I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, working on a couple of new books. Podcast still going well. I'm interviewing a guy next week. It's going to be really interesting. You'll probably remember this. I was a little too young to, but during the Vietnam War. Well, you're older than I am. I mean, it's the way it is.
Far smarter. But anyway, who is it?
There was a kind of patrols in the Vietnam War called lurk patrols. There were teams of 4 to 6 of them would be helicoptered in, and they would go and scout into Cambodia and into Laos to figure out where the troop strengths were because there wasn't GPS and all the stuff that we have now. Well, the guy I'm interviewing was on one of those patrols. He did several of them.
Wow.
And now he's the headmaster at Westminster Christian Academy over in Huntsville. His name's Ron Klein.
Now, I tell you somebody you ought to get with. You're going to go with that backed up for you ought to get with my buddy Wade Franks.
Wade Franks.
Who's he?
He's
phenomenal story.
One of the best interviews we ever had on this program was he was from New Hope.
Okay.
A red neck.
Okay.
You wouldn't invite him to your house. First, he'd probably cut you and steal everything you had. And growing up in New Hope, I was scared to death of him.
He changed his ways.
Goes to Vietnam. He has one of those dogs. They always sniffed out stuff. It was with a dog. Anyway. Yeah. Comes back with nothing.
Yeah.
Then he had a warrant for him or something. He comes back with nothing. Shows up at his old girlfriend's house. She takes him and he's married
jeans and
to her.
a t-shirt.
Now he's a preacher. Yeah. And got the most fun. I think he's in Hazel Green now.
I think so.
Wade, if you're out there listening, buddy, he did a great job. But tells a phenomenal story
I'd love
about
to talk to the guy.
having nothing.
Yeah.
About how they were looking for him when he got back. Didn't have nothing to his name. Just a pair of shorts and a t-shirt.
So that's what I'm looking for is people who have a great story to tell.
He's got a great one.
Because that's kind of the way men learn is by hearing great stories. They hear people that made it happen. No matter what. So yeah, I'll get with you when we get through the show.
So what's your subject today?
As I said in the beginning of the show, I'm reading a book called Men on Strike by a psychologist named Helen Smith. And she's taken a really unusual view of it, and I really liked it. And she was able to put into words something that I've been writing about and talking about. We're all real hard on guys, and we're saying that young guys, all they want to do is play video games, watch porn, and sit on their butt and not do anything. And that's true in some cases. But she is saying one of the reasons that we're losing a generation of men is that especially the educational system are trying to treat them like girls.
I think Seth was just talking about that subject.
I think he nailed it, didn't he?
And exactly what Seth was talking about is part of it. 3rd grade little boys, 8, 9-year-old little boys have testosterone just booming through their bodies. They can't sit still all day. The worst thing we ever did in the school systems was do away with PE and recess.
Recess. I hope you're just going to say that word.
Ritalin and Adderall.
Right. And so the problem is the little boys don't need Ritalin, they need recess. They just need 20 minutes to get outside and just run.
Yeah, but you can't play dodgeball no more. Somebody might get hurt.
Well, and see and so what's happening, these unintended consequences, there is a radical wing of feminism that says boys are just broken little girls. And if they would just act like more, good stuff, man. Reading's good for you. And if they would just act more like girls, the world would be a better place. And so we put them in an educational system where they get in trouble for acting like a little boy. They can't sit still, and so then they get sent to the principal, and the principal says, well, you need to send them to the doctor, and they get put on Ritalin, which is just another word for tranquilized. And they just sit there, and so what they end up doing, the author of this book's theory is, they just go, well, it's just not worth the trouble.
Now, has this got anything to do with the transgender thing taken out where they got to use the same bathroom at some of the schools and all that?
Her whole thing is, we'll have better men if we'll treat little boys like little boys, if we will let them be little boys and not treat them like broken girls.
What are some of I was trying to remember, I don't get too far off your subject here, but when we had recess at New Hope, I remember playing a game, and if y'all help me with the name of it, when boys lined up on each side, about 5 boys, and you ran through that.
Red Rover.
And they slapped you and everything. Is that what it was?
Wow, go on.
Well, it was our version of East Limestone. I mean, I don't know what y'all did in New Hope.
It was pretty physical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even more than that was just pick up and smear. Has there ever been a tougher game to play? You remember playing that? Or did you call it by the other name?
We called it the other name.
Okay.
It whispered in my ear.
I'm trying not to get you in trouble.
It rhymes with smear.
Right. I was trying not to get you in too much trouble there, Jamie. You've been on the edge all day.
Well, I tried to drink water and almost spit it out.
It's almost 7. It's almost 7 o'clock.
Hey, recess was tough.
Well, it was, but the thing about it was it wasn't malicious, right? The boys were just being boys.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody hated nobody.
Exactly.
Then you kind of got double beat up on.
Well, it was, and there was a pecking order that got you figured out who was in charge, but little boys didn't mind that, and that's the whole thing. The competition and the hierarchy was a good thing, and everybody society wants to make everybody equal.
You was embarrassed if you started crying.
Oh my gosh, crying? You couldn't do no crying. Yeah. Crying? We don't cry here. I don't care that somebody got
go home, have bruises all over. What up, boy? Recess.
Yeah, you come back.
Bookie bars.
Well, and that's the other problem is you got a helicopter parent that would freak out if their son came home and their shirt got torn because they were out playing. You know, the way I say it all the time is we have so few problems in America that we have people who sit around and think of new things to worry about. And so they think,
so is recess cut out now in schools?
I think it's almost totally cut out. I don't think there's much of any kind of physical activity. I know in high school you only have to take 1 semester of PE, and then you're done for your high school career, which is one of the reasons we got a bunch of fat people sitting around.
Well, they just came out in the military, 1/3 or half the people in Alabama can't qualify for the military because they're obese.
Yeah.
That's sad.
And it's just all these unintended consequences that are starting to roll up.
I saw half of them at the Athens post office yesterday.
If you're on my Instagram page, wow, you'll see one real close.
Yeah, you had a picture that was a little...
it was crack city.
Yeah.
That was
legal.
That happened.
That was legal crack.
Yeah, but I don't want to see that crack or the other kind.
I didn't want to see it either. Do you guys not realize that half your butt showing?
I was talking about the women I saw going in.
I mean, if you make it to if you make it to Friday without getting thrown off the air for saying something.
If he makes it till 8 o'clock this morning is going to be a miracle.
I speak the truth.
Oh, I'm not saying that, Jamie. I'm just I'm just trying to help you out, brother.
The comments on this station made by me are mine, okay?
But the whole idea behind the book is let's just treat little boys like little boys and treat little girls like little girls.
This is the book you're reading or the book you're writing? This is the book you're reading,
both.
right? Okay.
Actually, both.
But you're trying to plagiarize her stuff into yours.
Well, why should I come up with something new if I can just copy, and change a couple of words and I'm good to go, right? Writing a book's too hard. I'll take the next shortcut I can get.
Parents to go along with that.
Because you're probably going to have a lot of parents say, no, my child needs to be on Ritalin.
And now on ball teams, everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah,
we don't need to keep score.
I think there's actually a school in New York. I think it's in Brooklyn.
Somebody get their feelings hurt.
Well, and it's just for boys. It's strictly a boys' academy, and that teacher and the principal are all talking about and using some of the things that I talk about, and they're starting to see such success. And I think what's going to happen is when people see we're in such bad shape and somebody comes along with an alternative idea that shows some promise, they'll try it.
You know, there was a lady that I met at the hospice luncheon last week, and we had taken Maddie, and she got a balloon at Lindsay Lane last day of school. So here she is with her balloon. We go out to the hospice luncheon, and there's another little boy there, and he's a little bit younger than Maddie, and he's like, "Oh, I want a balloon," and she's like, "No, that's not yours. You're not getting a balloon." And I felt bad. I was like, "Here's a sticker." She's like, "No, if that's the worst thing he's got to do is he can't have a balloon, he can't have everything somebody else has. He'll get over it." I mean, that was a great attitude.
So I went over and busted Maddie and said, "Neil, neither one of y'all gonna get one."
As you
shared.
winning the award for Grandfather of the Year yet again, Jamie Cooper.
Take my
But I mean, it really is that, and that was a great thing for the lady to say.
Yeah, it was.
We can't remove all of the negative stuff in our kids' lives.
You can't have what everybody else has all the time.
Right. I mean,
people won't grow up like we all did.
No, they won't grow up
more
like
of
that
them are
again.
growing up like that
We
than
were
you
scared
think.
of our
Look
parents.
at you.
There are more out there than you think. I think the media makes us think like nobody parents that way anymore, but I certainly did. And a lot of my friends are parenting and did parent their kids the same way. And a lot of our kids, our older kids are now getting out of college and they're getting married, and we're seeing, and I'm seeing some of them make really good decisions.
Yeah.
But then there are a bunch of the other ones that I see
Making
making
really
just
bad.
horrible decisions.
Careful.
But the best ones that I see are the ones who are having to work during the summer.
Good
Dusty
point.
told a thing at church
careful.
last week, talking about kids,
Yeah.
and now how Joe Dare and Haley are his best friends. And I said, "Well, that never happened with me." But he said he'll never forget the day that Haley came in with a toe ring on.
Yeah.
He went ballistic. He said,
toe
"Now
ring.
Patsy's got one." He said, "But she came in with a toe ring." I said, "You get that thing off right now."
Over a toe ring.
Over a toe ring,
Come on now. We gotta pick our battles a
He
little
got
better.
talked out of it. He was fine.
I mean, just
All right, so when's this new book coming out?
oh gosh, when I get finished writing it.
Well, usually that's the way it goes. A book goes.
Well, one of them is coming along pretty quickly. The other one will probably still be 6 months before I finish it. It's man, I'm telling you what. Writing a book is the hardest thing I've ever done, and I've hauled hay and picked peaches, and writing a book is harder than that. It's a lot real time consuming, but it's because I like doing the podcast so much better.
Well, I guess we'll see you in about 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
All right.
Since you guys will be gone next week.
All right. We got to get out of here for the day. I'll feel you. Joseph will be here tomorrow. He's got a vehicle outside. We'll talk about that. We'll conclude for a week coming up on Friday, so we'll celebrate Memorial Day then. So we'll have a rodeo starting Friday night at 6. Y'all tune in for that. Right now, we'll get out of here. So see y'all tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Love it.